get in here before we get started. What's up with you, babe? Whew. It's gonna be a heavy one. Come on in, family. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit before we get started. I hope it's a wonderful day that you're able to get some rest, relaxation. You're able to get some stuff done that you need to get done. For those of you that had to work today, man, pray that you had a beautiful day at work. How do you pronounce that? Mararanta? Not, I mean, I hope I pronounced that right. Man, who taught you to hate yourself? When you start, you know, it's interesting. 60 years ago, 60 years, Malcolm X giving a speech. You could Google it. And he taught the speech is titled, Who Taught You to Hate Yourself? What's up with you, Eileen? Who taught you to hate yourself? And it's interesting because he was talking to a group of, and his audience was primarily black. And he was asking, man, who taught you to hate yourself? Who taught you to hate your lips? Who taught you to hate, you know, the thickness of your hair and just your skin color and all this other stuff? And he went on to answer that question as far as it being, you know, Caucasian people taught us to hate ourselves. Stay with me. This is not a racist thing. This is not a divisive comment, video in any way, shape, or form. Just looking at the comments, man. I hope it's not my audio that's messing up. Let me see if I can adjust this real quick. Hold on. Oh. Sorry, fam. All right, I hope that's better. Hate yourself. So today we're going to take a different perspective of who taught you to hate yourself. Who taught you to hate yourself? I'm cutting in and out. I'm not. Truth be told, toxic families. A lot of us got in toxic relationships, hung out with kids. We're always crazy. And I was child and all of that. Man, I apologize about that. I don't know what to say in regards to that, you know, or what to do. You know what I mean? There's nothing, you know, it's raining off and on here, so to do with, you know, the internet. A lot of was around us, the people that was supposed to teach us how to love ourselves, the people that was around us, people that was supposed to give us our identity. They gave us an identity, okay. It was, you know what I mean? Stay with me, we're going somewhere. It was a twisted identity. You know, somebody made a comment on one of the videos that I did the other day. I want to say it was yesterday. A comment in regards to start looking at some of the answers. As far as what's going on with us. You know what I mean? We don't talk about what's wrong. How do we fix it? How do we start solving everything? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm about today. Ask the different talk about the talk. truth is, the great majority don't even realize that we don't like ourselves. The great majority don't even realize that we hate ourselves. The great majority of us don't even realize that we sabotage ourselves. The great majority of us don't even realize that we speak curses over our own lives. Don't even realize that we are. Because we've been that way our whole life. It's normal to us. It's normal to us. And some of us has changed some. Some of us has gotten out of toxic relationships, but we still don't realize messed up we still don't realize how broken and shattered we really, how fragmented we really are. These people that taught us. It's interesting. You can say to somebody and you never know how they're going to perceive it. This is one of the reasons why, man, I say all the time, we have to be careful what we say to kids. We have to be careful what we say to other people. Because in our mind, we could just be playing. In our mind, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. Man, I'm just talking with you. Man, we just gassing you up. Man, we just clowning. We just joking. We just tripping. We just having fun. We'll do. Not even understanding how the other person is receiving the information, the joke, the game. You know what I mean? And so we tease each other all the time. Oh, you fat. Oh, you ugly. Oh, bitch, you ain't never going to get married. You ain't never going to keep a man. You ain't good enough. And da-da-da-da. And we say these things jokingly. And yet everybody knows that, man, you joke enough about certain things, there's some subtle truths to that. There's some subtle truths to that. And so we call that being sarcasm or sarcasm. We call that hidden digs. And we don't know how that tears down that person. And so, man, each of us have our own story. Every one of us have our own story of, man, where we first started hating ourselves. Whether it's our dad joking with us, oh, you too dark. And I had a lot of Hispanic people tell me, man, my dad and my mom used to clown me and joke and tease me, man, you too dark to be Mexican, and you too dark to be this, and you too dark to be that. And man, you an N, you know? And that's what they would call them, because they were too dark. Or they were too white to be Hispanic. And so they white girl and white boy. And in the black community, man, for a while, we dogged out light-skinned black people. Oh, you ain't real black. You ain't true. And so many light-skinned people had to, quote unquote, show their blackness, prove their blackness. Because in the back of their mind, they felt like they had to prove their blackness. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. We're just laying the foundation right now. Why do you hate yourself? Who taught you to hate yourself? And the truth is, religion has taught us to hate ourselves. Because religion is so, man, you can't be having those sins. You can't be having those thoughts like this and that. And you can't have these thoughts of this. And you can't have these thoughts of, man, if you a God, you better not have no emotional attachments to some other dude. You better not have no attraction to another dude, because you're going to hell. You're going to bust leg wide open. So we have all these different things that we've been told was a sin. We've been told that lusting was a sin, and that's our natural part of our body. That's a natural function of our body. All boys and all girls, man, they start growing up, they start getting excited. Sexually natural. Religion and Christianity has convinced us and made us feel like, man, we're sinning. And we got the devil in us. We got these evil spirits. That's why we do these things. That's why we have these thoughts. So no matter no matter how much you pray and fast and read your body, it's a natural part of your body for you as a dude to get a hard. It's a natural part of your body for you as a woman to get sexually excited. I don't care how much you pray. I don't care how much you read your Bible. It's reality. But we've been convinced and made us believe that, man, that's the devil. Sex is bad. Oh, we're going somewhere today. We starting off slow. Stay with me. And so we gotta stop hating ourselves. Some of us came out and we kind of chunky. We went on the thick side. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. But we gotta stop blaming, quote unquote, the white man for making us feel this way. We're so quick to blame racism or black folks, Hispanic folks. We're always quick to point the race and another ethnicity. We ourselves, we dog each other out the most. I'm not dismissing that there's no race. I'm not saying that at all. But we tear each other down far more than any other race can tear us down. We make each other feel like shit more often than any other race can make us feel that way. We get on social media and it's our circle, our family, our friends, our cousins, and everybody else that's, oh, why you wear that? It's too tight. And we can see your dimple, and we can see your cellulite, and don't put that on again. We say all this stupid shit. And we have this image of what beauty is. And then we have this image of what beauty ain't. And the trip is, so many women, they see these quote unquote women that look like who's Kim Kardashian and all these other fake people running around. You know what I mean? All these other people with all this stuff in their bodies to make them look a certain way. And so we feel like, man, I gotta look like that to be glamorous. I gotta look like that to be beautiful. I gotta look like that to be attractive. And then we see women that don't look like that. Women that are way overweight. Women that are skinny. Women that cross-eyed. Women that got big lips. Women that got buck teeth. Women that got big foreheads and big ears and big feet. And all that other stuff that we said was unattractive. All that other stuff that we said wasn't beauty. We see all these other women, according to standards, are ugly, gross. And man, they have kids. And here it is. I'm trying, and I still can't get a man. What is it about us that make us feel that something's wrong with us? And the big thing going on right now in news is I've been a Nia Long fan for man. She first came out acting, right? And her husband, man, basketball coach for the Boston Celtics, cheated on her. And nobody knows the full story yet of what's going on with that, and I don't care. But it's the simple fact that somebody that's successful, somebody that attractive, somebody that got all their stuff together, financially and everything else, career and all this other stuff, can still get dogged out. Somebody with all that stuff can still be made to feel like they're not good enough. And every time a guy cheats on his woman, every time a woman cheats on her guy, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of what he has at the table, regardless of how big their house is, regardless of how many cars they have, regardless of how exquisite their bedroom set is, nobody cares about that stuff. When you cheat on somebody like that, man, you have a way of making that person feel like they ain't shit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? That, man, the dude I gotta get with, he gotta be out cheating with me with this person. You know what I mean? You gonna mess up this right here, what we got with this? You gonna leave all this and everything I could have accomplished. You can't keep out of this. You can't keep your mouth out of this. Goes both ways, man. That has a way of making us feel like that has a way of making us feel like something's wrong with my manhood. I can't even satisfy my woman. She got to be out here sucking everybody's dick and doing whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And as women, man, I can't even satisfy my man. I can't even keep my man happy. He out here home with all these fucking ratchet ass motherfucking gold diggers, da-da-da-da. And so that has a way of tearing us down. And so we start looking at all the things that we don't like about ourselves, all the things that our family and friends have told us in the past was ugly. Oh, you got big toes, and oh man, your nails are like, man, you got that black stuff on your pinky toe, and man, that big toe, look at that. And man, we got all these things that we say, that we've heard. And then when things like this happen, somebody cheat on you, or you try to hook up with somebody and they kick you to the curb. Now all these things start coming into play. Now you start regurgitating all the negative, twisted, psychotic shit you've heard about yourself. We start believing that we're cursed. I'm cursed, that's why I can't keep a man. I'm cursed, that's why I can't keep a woman. No matter what I do to make them happy, they ain't never satisfied. Why? Because the common denominator is me. I must not be good enough. Something has to be wrong with me. What's wrong with me? And women, I'm gonna tell y'all, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Those that probably get offended, I'm gonna say this. Guys' greatest fears. I'm sorry, it's storming out here and saying that it's disconnected. And so guys' fear is that, man, they can't compete with your exes. Financially, physique-wise, and sexually. And the truth be told, I'm sure that's women's concerns too. I'm sure that's women's concern too, that, man, I can't compete with who he had before. So he must still be having thoughts about them. That must be the reason why they went to go cheat, because I can't do this right. I'm not satisfying them like Betty Joe did. I'm not satisfying them like Mike did. And so we start hating ourselves. And it's the truth, because we live in this dualistic world of duality. Good and evil. Good and bad. And it's third dimensional crap. And the trip is, if we're not good, then we have to be bad. And so we stop liking those parts of us that we deem as bad. We start hating those parts of us that, man, society and my ex and my baby mama, my baby daddy, and everybody that I've ever been with, they don't like that part of me. And so I can't tell people this part of me. I can't share this part of me. I can't be this way. Because they can't accept that. They won't embrace that part of me. And so we start living fragmented lives. We start having split personalities in the aspect of, man, I'm a freak, but I can't be a freak with him because I'm going to scare his ass away. I'm a freak, but I can't really be a freak with her because she ain't used to that, and she's a nerd when it comes to sex. She's rigid when it comes to sex. She's so religious laced. I can't do what I want to do with her. Because she ain't trying to hear that because she thinks that's the devil shit. Man, I like doing tarot cards. I like looking at charms, but I can't talk about that stuff with this person because they come from this religious background, and that's the devil stuff. That's witchcraft, and that's all this bullshit. And so we keep that stuff a secret. We keep that stuff a secret. We don't want people to know that part of us. Some of us has gotten in trouble. Some of us gone to jail. Some of us have been strung out on dope. Some of us have been alcoholics and all this other stuff. And man, I can't really talk about that because I'm still ashamed of it. And so I don't tell people about that. Women who've had abortions, I can't tell people that I've had 4 and 5 abortions because that's going to make me look like a hoe and like I'm no good mother. And why would I have all these abortions? And I got to be a trap and I got to be sleeping around to have all these fucking abortions. And no guy who's going to want to marry a woman with 4 and 5 different abortions. So we think. And so we live these fragmented lives and we hate our past. We hate that we came from broken families. We hate that we grew up in these toxic ass situations. We hate the fact that our childhood was robbed because we was raped and we was sexually molested and all this other bullshit. We were emotionally beat down. And so we live tainted lives and we hate that about ourselves. I'm talking about what made you hate yourself. Who made you hate yourself? Some of us have been sexually molested or raped, and so now we have this disgust when it comes to sex. We have this disgust when it comes to people of the opposite sex getting close to us. Or when it comes to the same sex getting close to us, whoever was the perpetrator. There's a whole lot of women that's been sexually molested by older women, by teenagers when they were little girls. There's a whole lot of dudes who are sexually molested by older dudes, by teenagers. What is it that makes us hate ourselves? Once you figure that out, once you come to an understanding of, man, what is it that I've gone through that really makes me just despise who I am? What is it about me that makes me hate the fact that I'm me? That's why I'm so interested in everybody else's lives. That's why I'm so interested in Beyonce's life. That's why I'm so interested in Kim Kardashian's life. That's why I'm so interested in Rihanna's life. That's why I'm so interested in Megan Thee Stallion, whatever the girl's name is. That's why I'm so interested in all these other people's lives. Why? Because mine is fucked up and I hate my life. And so I'm living their life. I want to be like them. I want to look like them. I want to dress like them. I want to talk like them. Because I hate me. I hate that I got lopsided titties. One titty's bigger than the other. I hate the fact that I got a flat ass. I hate the fact that my legs are skinny and no matter what I do to them, I got chicken legs. I hate the fact that I got a long neck. I hate the fact that I got a long torso. I hate the fact that my hands look the way that they do. My hair look the way it do. My eyes look the way they do. My nose and mouth look the way. I hate me. And that's why filters are so great on social media now. That's why filters are the thing to do now when you take a picture of yourself. Man, I could erase all of the blemishes. I could get rid of the fact that I got all these pimples and all these scars from chicken pox and measles and all this other crap. I could cover up the fact that my legs are all scratched up and bruised up and got marks all over them. See, because we hide who we are with these filters. And so the question is, why do you hate yourself? Why do you think so negative about yourself? And I talk about this all the time. People think money's the answer for everything. Nia Long has deep pockets. She's famous, wealthy. And she just got her heart broke. Money can't buy you love. Money can't buy you commitment. Money can't buy you loyalty. There's a whole lot of rich people getting divorced. There's a whole lot of rich people having affairs. Why do you hate yourself? Why do you hate yourself? How come you don't think you'll ever be happy? How come you don't ever think that somebody's gonna sweep you off of your feet? See, we look at stories like Cinderella. Oh, that's just cartoon. That's just make-believe. That's bullshit. That shit don't happen. And da-da-da-da-da. And man, that's just make-believe. That's just fantasy shit. And da-da-da-da. Man, how come you don't believe in love? How come you don't believe that somebody could come in and just blow your world away? How come you don't believe that your knight in shining armor can show up when you're ready for them to show up? How come you don't believe that your queen can arrive or is going to arrive when you're ready for them? What is it about you that makes you believe that that won't happen for you? It's okay for everybody else. That's cool for other people. But yeah, that's just not my life. And man, I'm resigned to the fact that, man, I'm going to be alone forever. I'm resigned to the fact that I belong to the streets and that's just going to be my life and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And why is it that at 60 and 70 years old, you out in the clubs and you still try to catch young girls? You trying to buy them because you ain't got shit else to offer them. Why do we hate ourselves? Why don't we love ourselves? We love everybody else, but we won't love ourselves. We don't know how to love ourselves because we've been living a fragmented life our whole time. The trip is, you watch little kids. I got 7 of them, right? You watch little kids, and I don't have 7 little kids, I have 7 children. But you watch little kids, and little kids, they'll learn from their parents what their parents don't like. Stay with me. And so they know that, hey, you know what? Grandma and grandpa and mom and dad, they don't really like when I do this. But I like this. But I know that if I'm a boy and I'm playing with this doll, it's going to piss my daddy off. I know if I'm a boy and I want to play T-house and I want to play Jackson, jump rope and hopscotch and all this other stuff, that's going to make my daddy mad. So I live with this fragmented life. I live with this secret. This is what I really want to do. This is where my heart is at. This is where my passion is at. But I won't be accepted. And so I don't do those things. I want to, but I'm scared that if I do them, I won't be accepted. And so what we learn in the process, I don't accept myself. My daddy don't love this part of me. My mama don't love this part of me. My husband, my wife, my queen, they don't love this part of me. So I just won't do it around them. I'll go to work and I'll be a hoe because I'm comfortable there. I'll go to work and I'll be a flirt because I'm comfortable there. They accept that. They allow me to be me. I could go to the gym and I'm comfortable there, and I could wear all the tight shit I want to, all the revealing shit I want to, and man, get all the guys looking at me and get all the women looking at me and woo-doo-doo. Why? Because I'm comfortable there. I could do this there. I'm not afraid of them judging me there. It's embraced there. I get attention there. But I don't get it at home. Why do you hate you? Why is there certain parts of you that you don't like? I say all the time, we have to grow up. We have to deal with our emotions. We have to deal with our feelings. Somebody told me the other day, people don't have ideas. Ideas have people. I'm saying it again. People don't have ideas. Ideas have people. Who has you? What has you? What has you? What are you a slave to? Are you a slave to being accepted? Are you a slave to rejection? Are you a slave to fear? Are you a slave to abandonment? Because I know so many women, guys too, man, because they're terrified of being abandoned. They're terrified of their partner leaving them. They will bend over backwards and kiss this person's ass and kill themselves in the process, but they're doing anything, everything to satisfy this person. Why? Just so that this person won't leave them. I've seen women get on their knees and plead with their man, don't leave me, don't go to her. Crying and snotting, begging their man not to go to some other woman. We have to grow up. We have to start having a real heart-to-heart conversation. We have to learn how to fall in love with us. How to embrace every aspect about us. Because that's what this whole journey is about. It's a trip because when you think about it, we come into this world whole. We come into the world as little kids, little babies, and we're whole. In the first half of our life, we're losing our identity. The first half of our life, we're losing it all. The first half of our life, we're being fragmented and we've been broken into so many pieces. The last half of our life, once we start growing up, we start putting our pieces back together. We start mending ourselves. We start healing ourselves from the whole first half of our life. So that we can become whole again. So that we can be whole. It's a trip because I talk about meditating all the time. I have several videos, quite a few videos on meditating. I'm going to do another one soon. I talk about meditating. Meditating is me getting in alignment with Source. Meditating is me getting in alignment with universal consciousness. Meditating is me getting in alignment with unconditional love. Unconditional love. And once I'm connected to universal consciousness, once I'm connected to Source, God the Most High, man, once I'm connected to love, and once I start seeing me through the eyes of God, through the eyes of Source, through the eyes of love, everything that I thought was a character defect, everything that I thought was ugly, everything that I thought was unlovable, everything that I thought was gross or whatever about my life, now that I'm tapped into universal consciousness, now that I'm tapped into God, now that I'm tapped into unconditional love, I learn how to love me unconditionally. See, here's the trick. We say we love, but our love has stipulations attached to it. That's not love. We have a misconception of what love is. I'll love you as long as you're kissing my ass. I'll love you as long as you're doing what I want you to do. I'll love you as long as you don't cheat on me. I'll love you as long as you don't disrespect me. I'll love you as long as, man, we dress nice and live comfortably and woo-doo-doo. But as soon as this shit change, as soon as our circumstances change, man, my love for you change. I don't love you like that no more. That's not love. That's not love. And because we love others, quote unquote, love others, conditionally, we learn to love ourselves, quote unquote, love ourselves, conditionally. It's a trip because as parents, man, parents fuck it up for us. For the great majority of the time, you know what I mean? Parents, and I was guilty of this because I didn't know any better. When you know better, you gotta do better, right? And so as parents, we teach our kids, that's bad, and because you're bad, I don't want to deal with you. Because you're bad, go sit your ass in timeout, and man, we're cutting your ass off. Because you're bad, you're not getting this, and then all this crazy shit. And so what that teaches our kids is, man, I'm not being accepted when I do this. I'm not being loved when I do this. So in order for me to be loved, I got to do this, this, and that. In order for me to be loved, I can't really be me. Because as a kid, man, I'm just inquisitive. As a kid, man, I just want to learn. As a kid, I'm just trying to learn things out. So I'm grabbing different things, not because I'm fucking off the hook, not because I'm trifling and I'm a fuck up and all this other. Man, I'm just inquisitive. I want to learn. And so I'm picking up this and I'm playing with this and I'm doing all this other crazy shit that's not crazy, but it's crazy to our parents because they don't have no fucking patience and because they have their own issues that they haven't resolved. And so they project that shit on us. They don't have no fucking patience. They don't have no fucking tolerance. They don't fucking understand love. They got their own bullshit. And so they project all that bullshit onto you as a kid. And now you feel unloved. Now you take that information and you determine and that as your basis of what love is and what love ain't. And so as you grow up, that's what you know. That's what you know. That's what you expect. That's what you think love is. When that's not love at all. So, by meditating, you get in alignment with God, Source, the Most High, universal consciousness, or whatever you want to call it. By meditating, you get in alignment with unconditional love. There's only love. There's only unconditional love. Anything that's not unconditional love is not love. I'm going to say it again. Anything that is not unconditional love is not love. Love is unconditional. If you love somebody and you got stipulations on what they can and can't do, that's not love. That's a fucking agreement. That's conditions. as chosen ones, as starseeds, as children of God. That's not us. That's not how we get down. We love unconditionally. We love unconditionally because that's who we are. That's what we are at our core. At our core, everybody, I don't give a damn what ethnicity you are. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what generation you in. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be loved. But everybody don't love themselves. Everybody wants to be loved. But everybody doesn't understand or don't understand what love is. So you have so many young women, man, thinking, man, if this guy buy me this, and if he got this type of car, and he buy me all these things, man, he's showing me love. No, the fuck he ain't. Love ain't got shit to do with the fucking material shit. At all. I like nice things. I like my queen having nice things. I could buy her nice things. I buy her nice things because that's an expression of my love. But you can also buy people nice things, and it ain't got shit to do with fucking love. I could buy you nice things and do nice things for you. Why? Because in the back of my mind, I want to manipulate you. I want to control you. So me buying you this shit don't mean I fucking love you. So a whole lot of dudes, and women too, that put women up in nice places and do all this other stuff. Just talked about Nia Long. Man, she just moved to Boston to be with this man. If he truly loved her, he wouldn't have done the shit that he did. In the conversation. In the conversation. There's no ifs, ands, buts about that. Because when you love somebody, man, you ain't trying to hurt them. You ain't trying to do anything that can cause them to get hurt. I love my queen. Adore her. Because I love her, I'm not going to put myself in a situation. I'm not going to put her in a situation that can cause her to get hurt. See, a lot of people think, man, well, if I'm just having an affair, I love you, but this is just something that I do. It's something they don't really mean nothing to me. And okay, if they didn't mean nothing to you, why would you do that knowing it would cause me hurt? Why would you do that knowing that it would cause me pain? Why would you do that knowing that it's causing me to distrust you? Why would you do that knowing that it could bring embarrassment to me? Because the truth is, they didn't really love you. And that's a hard pill to swallow. They didn't even love themselves. Because if they loved themselves, they wouldn't have put themselves in that situation. They get caught up. How do we fix that? You got to start meditating. You have to start looking at yourself through the eyes of God. You got to start looking at yourself through the eyes of love. Through the eyes of love. Unconditional love. You have to understand, man, everything is always working out for me. Everything, not some things, everything. And you can only get that perspective by being in alignment with God, by being in alignment with Source, with love. Talked about my younger 3 kids' mom when she left me, right? Back in 2004. And how that fucked me up. and made me so pissed because I was trying to do everything to cater to this woman. Because I understand prior to that, man, I was kind of out there. You know what I mean? Prior to that, man, I've been a single parent for almost 7 years. I've done some shiesty ass shit. I've done some unhealthy shit, relationship-wise. And so, man, I completely changed my life around. And this is the first woman that I really cared about, that I'm committed to this relationship. I'm committed to you. And man, karma kicks in. And it's like, oh, motherfucker, yeah, I'm glad that you changed your life. I'm glad that you grew the fuck up. But yeah, you still got to answer for this bullshit you done did. That's karma. And so the karmic lesson was, yeah, I'm glad you're madly in love with this woman. That's not going to stop her from leaving. I'm glad you're in love with this woman. That's not going to stop her from having feelings for this other dude that was cheating on her, that was beating on her and disrespecting her and woo-doo. No matter how great you are to her, she got feelings for somebody else. And your karmic lesson in this is you're going to have to go through this heartbreak. Your karmic lesson in this is, man, you're going to have to understand some things. And I couldn't understand why she left. And I was mad as fuck at her because she didn't have a reason to leave. And that's what broke my heart. That's what fucked me up. It wasn't that I was cheating on her. It wasn't that I was abusive or negligent or anything else of that nature. She had no justification at all to leave. She wanted somebody. She hadn't dealt with her issues. She was still connected to somebody in her past. And the trip is, her lesson is now, that was 2004, damn near 20 years ago. She hasn't been able to find somebody else. She's had guys. Nothing ever worked. Nothing ever got real serious. And even though she went back to her ex, when she got with him, in her mind, everything that he was doing, it was wrong. Because in her mind, she was wishing, man, how come he can't be like Elijah? How come he can't treat me like Elijah? How come he can't talk to me like Elijah? How come we ain't doing that? The whole time while she was with me, she was thinking, dang, I wish Raymond did this for me. I wish Raymond was doing this. I wish Raymond did that. But I ain't Raymond. And so she's learning I hope she's learning her lesson. But I learned my lesson. I grew through that process. Because for a minute, I was tearing myself down. What the fuck is wrong with me? You bitches don't give a fuck about good guys. You know what I mean? All bitches want these raggedy ass fucking people that's beating the shit out of them, that's choking the fuck out of them, that's slapping the shit out of them, that's cheating on them and woo-doo-doo, draining them financially, and blah, blah, blah. All bitches want that. That's what they want. A fucking thug that's gonna slap the shit out of them, that's gonna beat the fuck out of them, that's gonna fucking pistol whip them, blah, 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 blah. That's where we go sometimes. But I had to take a step back in time and realize and deal with my shit. Like Elijah. That's karma. Grow the fuck up. That's karma. That's not a bad thing. It's a fucking teacher. It's here to teach you some things. There's nothing wrong with you. It's the book I read by Sherry Huber. And I've made a couple of videos about this. Sherry Huber. C-H-E-R-I, last name Huber, H-U-B-E-R. There's nothing wrong with you. I had a chance of meeting her, going to one of her meditation retreats back in 2015. Phenomenal woman. One of many books I have of hers, right? This first book I read of hers. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. But we've been taught our whole lives that there's a whole bunch of shit wrong with us. We're too short, we're too dark, we're too light, we're too ugly, we're too this, we're too this. We got all this shit we believe that's keeping us from love. We got all this shit that we believe that's keeping us from being happy. We got all this shit that we believe that's keeping us from reaching our full potential. And the only thing is, if the truth be told, that's keeping us from being happy, the only thing that's keeping us from having peace of mind, the only thing that's keeping us from reaching our full potential and being all that we can be, has absolutely nothing to do with our fucking looks. The only thing that's capable of doing that is our fucking thought process, how we fucking see life, how we see ourselves. That's the only thing that's stopping you. That's the only thing that can stop you. How you see yourself. And the truth is, you don't like how you are. You don't accept how you are. And it's a trip because if you don't like it, if you don't accept it, how can you expect others to love what you don't like? Let me say it again. If there's so many different things about you that you can't stand, that you hate, how can you then turn around and expect to find Mrs. Right or Mr. Right and them to come in and love you unconditionally when you don't even love yourself unconditionally? You don't even accept yourself unconditionally. We have to learn through meditating, through seeing ourselves through the eyes of God, who we are. How does God see me? I acknowledge I'm not as smart as God. I acknowledge I don't have all the information that God has. I acknowledge I'm nowhere as deep, as wise as God. And if God, who knows everything, if God, who's all knowledgeable, all wise, you know what I mean? If God knows everything, sees everything, and if he loves me unconditionally, then who the fuck am I to say that I'm not lovable? If God knows all of my secrets, and I believe that he does, if God knows all of my fears and my insecurities and my doubts and my worries and woo-doo-doo, if God knows all of that, and he still loves me, man, I must really be lovable. I must be okay. I must not be as bad as I think I am. Because I'm not as smart as God is. I don't have all the information that God has. And yet God still loves me. If all of the hairs on my head is numbered by God, if God knows how much hair, how many particles of hair, follicles of hair I have on my entire body, that says he pretty much knows me. You know what I mean? He knows me. Because I don't know how much hair I have. And see, the trip is, God sees the past, he sees the present, and he sees the future all at once. Because there is no time with God. And so we look at our past and we think, damn, I've been so fucking miserable. Damn, I didn't like myself. Damn, I hated myself. And we're in the present right now and we're looking back over our past, and presently I hate myself because of all the bullshit that I've gone through. And yet God knows. God knows. Right over here. Because of all that same bullshit, I'm going to learn to value myself. I'm going to learn to appreciate myself. I'm going to learn to love myself. And so God is not tripping over our past because he sees the future. He sees how that's going to work out for you. When my wife left in 2004, when Tasha left 2000, man, I couldn't see the future. Man, my mentality, fuck these bitches. You know what I mean? Love thyself. And man, I went and bought myself a ring, a titanium ring. I still have it. I have it up in my bag. A titanium ring from Walmart, like 30 bucks. And I put it on my wedding finger. And I was married to myself. And my mentality is, fuck these bitches. Love thyself. And I had to learn to fall in love with me. I had to learn that, man, I'm marriage material. If that girl, that woman didn't appreciate what all I was trying to do for her, all the shit that I was doing for her, man, that ain't got shit to do with me. That's her fucking loss. Yes, it hurts me, but that's her loss. It hurts me because I don't understand the process. It hurts me because I'm looking at what I lost. And I'm not looking at because I can't see what I'm about to gain. I can't see my late wife coming to my, I didn't even know she existed at the time. What's up with you, Loretta? But had Tasha never left, I could have never met Cecilia and hooked up and married Cecilia. Had Cecilia never passed away, and that broke my heart, fucked my world up. And had she never passed away, I could have never met and married my queen. God sees the past, the present, and the future all at once. Meditating gets us in alignment with God. God is all knowledgeable. He knows what's best for us. And so by meditating, I learned to get outside of my fucking head. By meditating, I learned how to deal with my issues. By meditating, I learned how to deal with my mama dying when I was 2 years old, and I'm having abandonment issues. See, we have so many things going on within us that we're not even aware of. I never knew that I had abandonment issues, stemming from my mama dying when I was 2 years old, right in front of me. And the truth is, I didn't realize that I had abandonment issues until Cecilia was dying in 2015. I was 45 years old when I realized, damn, I got abandonment issues. That's why it's killing me that she's dying. Because I'm gonna be alone. And that was a trigger going back to Tasha. And Tasha leaving me was a trigger going back to my mama leaving me. The shit gets deep. So many women have abandonment issues because they daddy ain't never been in their life. So many women have abandonment issues because they daddy ain't never really wanted a girl. He wanted a son, and instead he got you. Your daddy wanted a boy to name after him, and instead, well, we got to deal with you. And so we're going to name you after your daddy, but you wasn't what your daddy wanted. And so your daddy then get down and play jacks with you. Your daddy then play house with you. Your daddy then play Barbies with you. Your daddy then watch cartoons with you. Your daddy then hold you and cuddle you and tell you how important you were and tell you how valuable you was and show you and tell you who you are. And so you got all these identity crises going on within you because you never got what you needed from your daddy. Or maybe you grew up and your mama was jealous of you. Your mama saw how beautiful you was. Your mama saw how your daddy catered to you. Your mama saw how your daddy, you had your daddy wrapped around your fingers. And your mama was jealous. Your mama was brokenhearted because she's looking at you and the love and attention that you got from your daddy. She was crying on the inside because she never got that from your daddy. And so now your mama's mad at you and your mama are always at war with each other. Your mama's always seeing you as competition. The shit runs deep. And some of us, I grew up as the middle kid. And the middle kid is always the most fucked up kid. The middle kid syndrome. The middle kid is always the most troubled kid. The oldest kid, for the most part, they get the love of the family because they're the firstborn. They get all the attention. Middle kid comes. You ain't so new. This ain't a new thing now. Parents ain't taking all the pictures they was taking before. And then shortly after you get here, man, there's another one on the way. And now you got a baby brother, a baby sister. And now they're getting all the attention because they're the baby. The oldest is getting attention because they're able to do shit that you can't do. The baby's getting attention because they're the baby. And the middle kid gets lost sometimes, most of the times. And the middle kid is struggling with their identity most of the times. And so now you got siblings mad as fuck with you. Your brother, your older brother, sister, mad because you here. And we didn't want your ass. Nobody asked for a baby brother. Nobody asked for a baby sister. I didn't want to have to share my fucking room. I didn't want to have to share my fucking toys and my video games with your sorry ass. And so we're learning not to like ourselves. Who made you hate yourself? Just like you learned to hate yourself, you can learn to love yourself. That's what this whole journey is about. You're not alone. You ain't doing this shit solo. Every single one of us, our experiences might be different, but every single one of us is having to learn, how do I fall in love with me? How do I accept me? How do I love me? How do I see me through the eyes of God? How do I see me through the eyes of the Most High? How do I see me through the eyes of infinite knowledge, infinite wisdom, and unconditional love? In order to be able to do those things, I got to be tapped into those things. And in the process of being connected to love, see, I can't be connected to love and still be attached to hate. I'm gonna say that again. Everything is about frequency. Frequency. What frequency are you on? Because you can't be attached to God. You can't be attached to love and still be hating you. You can't do it. You can't be attached to God. You can't be attached to love and be suicidal. You can't be attached to God and attached to love and be depressed and full of fear and full of anger and anxiety and depression and all these other things. Why? Because they're in two different frequencies. And the truth is, you've been vibing on that low, toxic ass fucking frequency your whole life and you didn't even know it. You didn't know it. When you know better, you have to do better. Now that you're attached to God, now that you're attached to love, man, now you have to look at yourself differently. And so, as you begin to look at yourself differently, you have to learn to forgive yourself. And it's a trip because, and I share with you guys, man, my father murdered my mom when I was 2. Stabbed her 49 times right in front of me. And one of the things that I had to do was learn to forgive him. I had to forgive him. I had to forgive the people that molested me. I had to forgive my family who was always telling me that I wasn't shit. I had to forgive those Christian fanatics who was constantly telling me that I had the devil in me. I had to forgive those Christian fanatics for always damning me to hell and saying I'd be dead before I was 18 or locked up in the prison system for the rest of my life. That's the bullshit they spoke over my life. That's the fucking curses that they put on me. And so, in the process of being connected with God, in the process of being connected to love, I had to learn to love me. And in the process of loving me, man, I forgave everybody. Why? Because unforgiveness is a low vibrating frequency. Unforgiveness damages me. Unforgiveness fucks my life up, not the other person. Unforgiveness damages me, not my daddy, not them other people. It damages me. It hurts me. But I'm loving me now. Okay, well, if I love me, why would I keep hurting me? Unforgiveness hurts me. If I love, whether they ever ask for forgiveness or not, man, I forgave them. Why? For my peace of mind, for my joy. It had nothing to do with my daddy. Never asked me to forgive him. My daddy never apologized for murdering my mom. I didn't forgive him because he asked me to. I didn't forgive him because he was my daddy. I forgave him because I loved me. And I remember, I made this time, man, I told my dad when I was, man, I got a bullet with your name on it. Come back to California, view all that if you want to. I'm taking you off the fucking game. You should have died instead of my mama. The shit I told my dad. Why? Because I didn't forgive him. If you hold unforgiveness towards anybody or anything, you cannot have peace of mind. You cannot have that joy that passes all understanding. You cannot reach your full potential. Holding unforgiveness is a manifestation of self-hatred. I'm gonna say that again. As long as you have bitterness, animosity, hatred, and unforgiveness towards other people, that's a manifestation. That unforgiveness, that hatred, that bitterness, that animosity, that hate, whatever, that's a manifestation of your self-hatred. Has nothing to do with what the other person did. You hate yourself. Because if you didn't hate yourself, you would let go of that negative energy. You would let go of that negative energy. If you got connected to God, and I'm not talking about fucking religion. If you got connected to God through meditation, that would help you learn to let go of that low vibrating frequency. Every time we have those thoughts, every time we have those feelings, that's God's way of saying, hey, look, you're not connected to me right now. You're disconnected from me at this moment. You was just connected with me a few minutes ago. Everything was cool a few minutes ago. Then this thought popped in your head of your daddy. This thought popped in your head of your ex-husband. This thought popped in of your baby daddy. This thought popped in of your baby mama. This thought popped in of your raggedy, ratchet, ungrateful ass kids. This thought popped in of your sorry ass boss. This thought popped in of woo-doo-doo, and you got disconnected. And now you're back on that low frequency again. Now you're vibing on that bullshit again. When you learn to love you, you let all that shit go. When you learn to love you, you let go of that low vibration. When you learn to love you, all you want to do is be connected to God. When you learn to love you, all you want to do is be connected to love. Man, I ain't got time for the bullshit. I ain't got time for the negativity. I ain't got time for the toxic bullshit. I ain't got time for the fucking drama. I ain't got time for the madness. I ain't got time for the chaos. I ain't got time for the bullshit. Why? Because I'm connected to God. Because I'm connected to love. And so all I want to do is vibe on this frequency. That's all I want to do. I want to live on this frequency. And so living on this frequency means I'm letting go. I've let go of all the other bullshit because it's no longer important. I've learned the lessons from those things. Those things taught me to love me. As bad as they were, as fucked up as they taught me to love me. Me being sexually molested taught me to love me. Me seeing my dad murder my mom and losing both of my parents and boom, a blink of an eye to no fault of my own taught me to love me. When my family members was damning me to hell, when my family members was telling me I wasn't shit, wasn't gonna amount to shit, when my family members was telling me I was full of the devil and constantly making me go up to church, go up for prayer and putting oil all on my head and all this other bullshit, when they were doing all this crazy shit, it taught me to love me. In the beginning, it taught me to hate me. In the beginning, it taught me to hate them. But as I begin to grow the fuck up emotionally, as I begin to grow the fuck spiritually, and as I got connected to God, Source, the Most High, and love, man, I understand and I start to see myself and see my life and my past through the eyes of God and through infinite knowledge and infinite wisdom. And I turned that hate into love. I turned that bitterness and that anger and that jealousy and that rage into love. That's what this whole journey is about. That's what our whole life is about. That's what alchemy is all about. Taking bullshit and turning it into gold. taken to somebody that was neglected and rejected and ostracized and beat down and forgotten and abandoned and whooped and making a beautiful queen or a king out of them. That's how we become beacons of love. That's how we become beacons of inspiration and motivation. That's how we become beacons of light. Here's the trip. We was always that. We came in the world as a beacon of love. We came in the world as a beacon of inspiration, as a beacon of motivation. But we allowed the madness of life to fill us. And it darkened our light. It dimmed our light. Meditating, getting reconnected with God, reconnected with love, dealing with our shit, understanding, man, they taught me to hate me. All of that had a purpose. And that purpose wasn't for me to really hate me, it was for me to learn how to love me unconditionally. Everything was to teach me how to love unconditionally. Because at our core, every single one of us is love. But we allow the pains and the rejections and the bad, we allow all these other things to taint us, that change our nature and the outward appearance. Getting reconnected with God, reconnected with Source, brings us back home, back to the beginning. We're love. We love and we are love. And everything that we do should manifest that love. Everything that we do should manifest that hope, should manifest that light that is within us. Everything we do should manifest the God in us, the God that is us. Not the bullshit, not the negativity. Man, I hope and pray that something's been said, that helps you, that's stops you in your track and helps you understand and see you for who you really are. Man, may you learn to let go of religion and get connected with God. May you let go of just all the bullshit and come back home to love. To love. Because you're loved. You are loved. You are love. My beautiful queen and I, we love you guys. The next time we'll go live will be next Saturday at 6 o'clock. I'll be putting out videos in the meantime. But, man, we love you. We thank you for being with us on this channel. We thank you for your support. We thank you for your love, your blessings. Man, your love. Your love. Your love. And you're loved. Happy healing. Peace.